The moment I stepped into the plane aisle, I saw her already sitting in my seat, 38A, the window seat I paid extra for. She had her big purse on her lap like a shield and looked straight at me with a tight smile, as if daring me to say something. I kept my voice calm and said, "Well, ma'am, that's my seat." She didn't even blink. She just rolled her eyes and replied loud enough for everyone to hear, "No, you can take the middle seat. I need the window for my anxiety. Sit somewhere else." People turned their heads. Some pretended not to look, but everyone was watching. The flight attendant walked by, but Karen quickly snapped, "He's harassing me! Tell him to move before I scream!" She placed her fake little drama tears right on schedule, like she had practiced this before. I felt the tension rise, and then she shouted, "You're making me uncomfortable! I'm calling security!" Before I could speak, she actually stood up and tried to push me back with her elbow, yelling, "This is my seat now! Deal with it!" And the crazy part? She grabbed my boarding pass out of my hand and said, "See, this is fake. He's lying!" The whole plane froze. I took a slow breath, because she still had no idea who she was messing with. I wasn't just a regular passenger, and this wasn't going to end the way she thought. Before security could arrive, the flight attendant asked her gently to hand back my boarding pass. Karen clutched it tighter like it was a winning lottery ticket. "No, he forged this! I know scams when I see them," she barked. Her voice bounced off the cabin walls, and a baby in the back started crying. People shifted in their seats, annoyed but too curious to look away. I leaned in a little, keeping my tone steady. "Ma'am, give it back. It has my name on it." Karen smirked. "Oh, really? And what name is that?" She didn't even bother checking. She thought she had already won. Right then, 2 airport security officers stepped in. Karen rushed toward them like she was escaping danger. "Arrest him! He's trying to steal my seat and threaten me!" One officer looked at me, then at her. Then at the boarding pass she was hiding behind her back. "Ma'am, that doesn't look like your ticket." She snapped again. "I said arrest him!" The other officer sighed and asked me politely for identification. Karen folded her arms with a smug grin, whispering to the people around her, "Watch, he's gonna freak out now." But I didn't. I opened my wallet and handed them my ID. Her smirk slowly faded the moment the officer's eyes widened, then flicked to me with sudden respect. Karen noticed and leaned in. What is it? Is he on some list?" she asked, almost excited. But she had no idea the reason their tone changed. She didn't know who I really was. Not yet. The officer cleared his throat and handed my ID back with both hands. Like he suddenly didn't want to offend me. Karen squinted at him, confused. "Well? Are you going to drag him off the plane or not?" she demanded, tapping her foot like she owned the aircraft. The officer spoke carefully. "Ma'am, we need to see your boarding pass." She stiffened. "Why? I already told you the window seat helps with my anxiety." "That should be enough." She tried to slide sideways, blocking her handbag with her elbow, hiding something. But the second officer stepped around her and gently pulled the bag forward, revealing her ticket. Row 12, middle seat. The tension in the cabin snapped like a wire. Passengers gasped. Someone in the back whispered, "12? Seriously?" Karen's jaw dropped. She grabbed the ticket and waved it in the air like it was a mistake. "That's not mine! Someone swapped it! This is a setup!" She pointed at me again. "He did this. He's dangerous." The officers were losing patience now. "Ma'am, please calm down." But Karen only got louder. "Calm down? Do your job." "I said he threatened me." The officer turned to me. "Sir, I apologize for the inconvenience." Karen blinked fast. "Apologize? To him for what?" I didn't say anything. I just slid my ID back into my wallet. Karen leaned forward, trying to peek. "Who are you? Why are they talking to you like you're special?" I looked at her quietly, and that silence made her panic even more. Then the officer finally said it. "Ma'am, he's not just a regular passenger. He's on the federal clearance list." A few people gasped. Karen's mouth fell open. Clearance for what?" she stuttered. I could see the fear forming behind her eyes, because she still didn't know the full truth. Karen stumbled back a little, gripping the seat like the floor had tilted. Federal clearance? What does that even mean?" she asked, her voice suddenly small. For the first time since boarding, she stopped shouting. She looked at me like she was trying to guess if she had just insulted. someone she really shouldn't have. The officer didn't give details, he just said, "Ma'am, he is authorized for restricted travel. That means we have to treat any complaint against him very seriously and verify everything." His tone was stern now, almost warning her. Karen blinked fast, panic rising in her voice. I didn't know. He didn't tell me. How was I supposed to know? She pointed at me again, but her hand trembled this time. He looks normal. Someone sitting 2 rows ahead muttered, "That's the point. You never know who you're messing with." A ripple of quiet laughter spread, and Karen's face flushed red. She tried to grab my arm, maybe to show she was suddenly being friendly, but the officer stepped between us. "Ma'am, don't touch him." That pushed her from fake innocence into real frustration. "So he gets special treatment? Why, what is he? Some kind of agent?" Her voice cracked on the last word. I finally spoke, calm as ever. "Ma'am, all you had to do was sit in your own seat." My tone hit her harder than if I had shouted. She swallowed, trying to steady herself. "Look, I didn't mean anything. I... She stopped mid-sentence as the officer pointed at the body cam on his vest, still blinking red, recording everything. Her legs gave a tiny shake. What happens now?" she whispered. I looked at her for a moment, and then said quietly, "That depends on what I decide next." Her breath caught. She wasn't sure if I meant legal action or something far worse. The cabin had gone completely silent. Even the crying baby in the back seemed to pause, as if the whole plane was waiting to hear what I would say next. Karen stood there, frozen, clutching her crumpled ticket like it was her last hope. "Please, look, I didn't know," she stammered. I was just stressed. But everyone had already seen how she acted. Nobody was buying it. The officer stepped aside, giving me space, like he wanted to show the whole plane that the next move was mine. Karen must have felt it too, because she took a tiny step closer and whispered, "Can we just forget this? I'll go to my seat." I swear, I didn't answer right away. I picked up my boarding pass from the tray table where she had dropped it and brushed off the crease she left on it. Karen watched me like a student waiting for results. Her lips trembled. Then the flight attendant returned. "Sir, we can move her to her assigned seat." "Do you want to file a report?" she asked gently. The word report made Karen flinch. No, please!" I said I'm sorry. I didn't mean to steal anything. I just thought I deserved a better seat. The man across the aisle snorted. "We all do, lady. But we don't scream at people and call security." Karen's eyes darted around the cabin. Every face she saw only made her more desperate. "Please, just give me a chance to fix this." I finally looked at the officers. "Before anything," I said, "I want her checked." Karen blinked. "Checked for what?" "For any more lies," I replied calmly. The officer nodded. "We'll run her boarding info again and check her name against the system." Karen froze, her face draining of color. "Wait, no. That's not necessary." "Come on, I already told you." But the officer had already stepped away with her ticket. Karen turned slowly toward me. You don't understand," she whispered. "I really can't have them look at my name right now." And that's when it clicked. Her fear wasn't about losing the seat. It was about what they would find if they searched her properly. I narrowed my eyes. "Why not?" She opened her mouth, but no words came out, only panic. Karen's breathing turned shallow, like the air around her had suddenly thickened. She kept glancing toward the front of the plane where the officer was, scanning her ticket again. Her fingers twisted together. Her voice dropped to a shaky whisper. "Please, don't let them check. You don't get it. I can't afford this." I watched her closely. "Why not? What are you hiding?" She shook her head fast. "Nothing. Just some mix-ups, some misunderstandings. I mean, nothing serious." Her voice cracked on that last word like she didn't even believe it herself. Passengers were leaning in now, curiosity pulling them forward. Karen had been screaming a minute ago, but now she looked like someone trapped under a spotlight. A woman 2 seats down whispered, "She definitely hiding something." Karen heard it and flinched. The officer returned, holding her ticket with a new expression. Tight, serious, controlled. Karen's knees bent slightly, like she was preparing for impact. "Ma'am," the officer said, "we need to speak with you outside the cabin." Karen's eyes widened. No, please. Please don't do this. I swear I'm not dangerous." We didn't say you were, the officer replied. But there's a flag on your name. We need clarification before this flight can depart. A flag. The word hit like a shockwave through the cabin. Karen looked at me suddenly, desperate. This is your fault. If you had just taken the middle seat, none of this would have happened. Her voice broke, and for the first time, she looked genuinely scared, not entitled. Not loud, not dramatic, scared. I stayed calm. You brought this on yourself. No, she whispered, shaking her head wildly. You don't understand. It's not what you think. That flag, it's not even mine. It's my husband's name. I'm using his last name, but he was involved in something. She stopped talking when she realized she said too much. Her eyes shot to the officer, then back to me. The officer stepped forward. Ma'am, gather your things. Karen grabbed the headrest, refusing to move. Wait, stop! Sir, please! She looked at me with trembling eyes. Just tell them you don't want to press charges. They're listening to you. I can see it, please. Just say something. I looked at the officers, then back at her. I haven't decided yet, I said. The whole plane shifted with that one line. Karen's lips quivered. Please, I'm begging you. But before I could answer, the officer's radio crackled with a message loud enough for everyone to hear. Confirmed. Bring her out now. Karen's face collapsed. And when the officers reached for her arm, she tried something none of us expected. When the officers reached for her arm, Karen suddenly pulled away and rushed down the aisle. It happened so fast the entire cabin gasped. She wasn't running to escape. She was running straight toward the cockpit door. I need to talk to the captain, she cried. He needs to know I'm not a threat, people shouted. The officers moved instantly. One grabbed her by the shoulder before she could touch the door. She screamed, Let me go! I'm not a criminal! But her voice was broken, nothing like the loud, proud woman who stole my seat minutes earlier. The officers held her firm. The flight attendant whispered to them, We can't continue boarding with her like this. She's a safety risk now. Karen heard that and stopped struggling. Her face turned empty, defeated. I just wanted the window seat, she whispered. The officer sighed. Ma'am, that's not why we're removing you. They escorted her slowly toward the door. As she passed my row, she turned her head just a little. Her eyes were red, swollen, terrified. Please, she whispered. I didn't mean to ruin your flight. For a second, the whole cabin felt heavy. Even I didn't expect that last bit of humanity from her. I didn't answer. Sometimes silence is the only truth left. The doors closed behind her, and the noise of the plane slowly returned. Soft conversations. Relieved breaths, the quiet buzz of the overhead lights. The flight attendant came to me first. Sir, thank you for staying calm. We appreciate that. I nodded and took my seat, my actual seat, 38A, by the window. The man across the aisle leaned over and said with a small laugh, Man, that was wild. Who are you, really? I smiled just a little. Just someone who likes a quiet flight. The plane finally took off. Clouds drifted past the window, soft and calm. Nothing like the chaos that had just happened. But the truth stayed in my pocket, hidden like always. Because he was right. I wasn't just a regular passenger. My clearance wasn't for show. It wasn't luck. It wasn't some airport mistake. I had earned it after years of work. Quiet. Work, handling people far more dangerous than a screaming woman stealing a seat. Work where staying calm meant staying alive. But none of that mattered right now. I just wanted peace. An hour into the flight, the officer who had checked my ID walked down the aisle and paused beside me. He lowered his voice. Just so you know, when we ran her name, the flag wasn't small. I looked up at him. Serious? He nodded. Serious enough that you probably saved this flight without even knowing. I let that sink in. So her panic wasn't fake after all. The officer added quietly, Good thing you were here today. Then he walked on. I turned my head back to the window and watched the sky open wide beneath us. I didn't feel victorious, or proud, or angry. I just felt relieved that the drama was over. The plane was calm, and the world outside the window looked peaceful again. Sometimes justice doesn't need noise. Sometimes it just needs the right person sitting in the right seat.